Hello and welcome to our channel. We are Jim and Sam, and this is the show where we like to give you our rating first and then talk about the things we did and did not like about the movie we just saw. Today's movie is The Joker. This is a spoilers review, so if you have not seen the film, stop watching. Everything's going to be on the table for this one, so you have been warned. Have you seen it? What did you think? Because we're letting you know in 3, 2, 1, see it. Finally, 2019 has the feel-good family film of the year. Rays and sunshine all over the place. This guy just goes around partying with his imaginary friends, has a black party with some good old protesters. Really just great family fun for the whole gang. Bring grandma. Good stuff. Okay, so The Joker. Not going to beat around the bush. We all know what this is. This is the origin story of the Joker. It stars Joaquin Phoenix. So let's just get into the things that we liked about this film. Sam, you can go ahead and start.
You know, I thought it was a very interesting film for what it was. I wasn't expecting that at all. I knew it was going to be dark. I knew it was going to be grim, but you really felt for the Joker, and that was something that kind of came out of left field. And then when he transitioned into being the Joker, of course you were like, you shouldn't be doing that, but you were still kind of feel for you though.
Yeah, so it's essentially, I like the sort of real world approach that they took to this film. Mm-hmm. The whole mental health aspect, I feel like they're doing some sort of modern day commentary on it, where this person needs mental health that's prone to, he's not really prone to violent acts, but he has negative thoughts, and the system essentially turns its back on him.
Yeah, and I thought that was, it was a very creative way to express that problem in a movie.
Yep. I really like how real and gritty they portrayed the violence. The film gets violent a couple of times. I want to say there's maybe 3 scenes that get really violent, but it's not cartoonishly violent. It's very realistic in its violence. When someone gets...
Oh, it's so violent.
When someone gets shot in the head...
so violent.
Yeah. When someone gets shot in the head, like it looks like they just got shot in the head. It's not overly cartoonish about it. It's like, oh. And it's super shocking when it happens. When someone gets stabbed in the neck, it's like, holy crap. It's incredibly realistic and very unnerving. Mm-hmm. Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely stellar.
He did it really well.
Yeah, and all the acting all around is really good. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I really like, the direction from Todd Phillips. The film is super, super moody, and it sets its tone pretty much from the outset. Just from the opening scene, you're pretty much riveted and gripped. The score is fantastic. It's very dark and moody. Mm-hmm. Zaza Beetz is also really good. She plays the girlfriend, or the would-be girlfriend.
The imaginary girlfriend.
Yeah. One of the other things that I actually really did like about the film is that for a 2-hour film, that is a character study about essentially the Joker. It's Arthur Fleck. That it was never boring. Usually with character studies, I can get kind of bored with these kinds of films. And I was never bored in the theater watching this. Mm-hmm. I was riveted in almost every scene.
I think there wasn't a single moment where I agree with that, because it was just so quick to the next scene, and it was so intriguing. Everything was very interesting. When he was doing the comedy act, you knew that it was going to bomb, but like the way he portrayed the act was very interesting, and then it just was really good. I think that every part of the film was spectacular. I
really liked the uncontrollable laughter that he had. They made it a part of his condition. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the theories I've heard is that it's not actually part of his condition, that's a part of his act. So he's just acting like he has a condition, but it's one of those things, and the film has a lot of it, where they leave a lot open to your interpretation. Like, what is real, what isn't real, because the Joker in this film is revealed to be an unreliable narrator, which makes the film pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So it has a lot of rewatchability potential to try and dissect what the filmmakers are trying to tell us and show us through this character.
I don't know how many times I could rewatch this.
Yeah, it's pretty dark and brooding.
It's really good, but it's
very
hard to watch
as well. Yeah.
But it was good.
The script is really good. Pretty much all aspects of this film I just actually really, really liked. Mm-hmm. So now, with all of that said, let's move into the things that we didn't like about the film. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You can go first.
So the first thing that I didn't like about the film was, and I'll just go straight up to something I just did not like completely. I didn't like the Gary Glitter song when the Joker first makes his way onto the scene. It's a rock song. It's like a sports arena song. It's very left field. They call it the Hey song. And he's walking through the hallway and you hear like this rock beat. Then he gets into the elevator and he's dancing on the stairs.
I think it was supposed to be portrayed as his glimmer, like his personal emotions, I think.
That makes sense. I could see that. Where
like it's him finally coming out of his shell and finally being revealed and him enjoying that.
My point might be retracted with your point with that being plain in his own head. Like, he is his own superstar. You know, he's Michael Jordan making his way out for the Bulls now that he's in his full Joker persona.
Yeah.
So that is a good point.
His persona was really good, though. I actually really liked his outfit and his makeup and the ending. I mean, you see it everywhere. It's on the poster. That's definitely not different, but I thought it was really cool.
The other thing that I didn't like, and this is where we're going to get into heavy spoilers territory. So for me, I liked how they sort of wove Joker and Wayne together through Thomas Wayne. What I did not like is tying in Joker's origin in with Batman's origin at the end of the film. So we get the murder of the Bruce Wayne parents. The film was so strong that I did not need that in this film to make it any better or to support it or to like nod to the Bruce Wayne, the Batman origin. Because the whole thing plays out, and it's now, what is this, the third or fourth film now in the last 10 or 15 years where we've seen the Batman origin story. We saw it in Batman Begins. We saw it in Batman versus Superman. We're seeing it here. I didn't need it in this film. I thought the film was strong enough without it. And then when it did happen, it almost shifted the narrative in the film to be like, now we just watched a Batman origin story as much as we watched a Joker origin story. And I just wanted 100% Joker.
I know, especially with the fact that this is a standalone film that's not going to get a continuation or is said not going to get a second film. It kind of is a bummer because now you're like, well, now what's going to happen with this Joker and Batman? That seems like it would have been a great movie. It seems like that would be a great movie with this Joker. And
now what that does is it sets up my expectations for a potential sequel. Now I'm more interested in seeing the film that could follow this, as much as I'd want to see this again. Mm-hmm. It leaves me in a perplexing mood because it's like, oh, now I want to see a full-on Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie who's 100% the Joker the whole time with rivaling against Batman.
Right.
I'd probably a rare case of this, but that just rubbed me the wrong way. I could have
No, because I thought the same thing. Even before you said anything, I was like, oh, there's going to be a second movie. Like, this is the start of the next movie. They introduced it. And then you were like, no, this is a standalone. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, no sequel. But still, I could have done without the Batman origin portion of it. My other sort of thing I didn't like, and I'm sure there's a lot of people won't agree with me on this, but I felt like I watched a great Arthur Fleck film, but I didn't exactly get the Joker film I was looking for. Because he's not actually the Joker persona until like the last 10, maybe 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And for a movie called Joker, I was expecting more Joker. Because essentially when he becomes Joker, the person he was before the Joker is essentially dead. There is no past for the Joker. He is essentially
reborn,
but when he comes up as the Joker, he has no past. He's an amalgamation within the system. There's no history. There's no past to him. No one can figure anything out about him. And I wanted the Joker persona that essentially wipes clean his slate, sort of. I was expecting it probably like at the halfway point, and that didn't happen.
It was a Joker film. Don't you think it would have been tied in more with Batman?
No, because I think this film was strong enough to have without Batman. I was expecting Joker to play a little bit more of a role in the uprising of the clown army that comes up at the end.
Yeah.
And when they save him and rise and lift him up, I was expecting something like that at the halfway point, and then him sort of essentially taking on the role of the Clown Prince of Crime, which is what the Joker is. That's what they call him. And I wanted more of the Clown Prince of Crime. We got it in the last 15 minutes of the movie, the chaos he ensues, the things he brings about. He sort of takes leadership of the charge that of the poor people against the rich, especially at the Murray talk show.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I just, from a selfish standpoint, I just wanted more of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, good for you.
So is there anything that you didn't like about the film that I didn't mention?
No, I think everything I intertwined with what you were saying. I don't think there was anything that I didn't like at all. So I think I'm good.
And my points that I didn't like, it's not so much real criticisms outside of the actual Gary Glitter song that plays. I just was not feeling that. Everything else is sort of, I would have preferred, and I didn't think it was actually wrong in the film. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it was a great Arthur Fleck film. I was left a little miffed on the whole Joker aspect because I wanted more of it. So walking out of the theater, it's like, well, if I want to watch a good Joker movie, am I going to watch this or The Dark Knight? And if I want to watch a character study, am I going to watch this or Taxi Driver? And that's sort of the question that I'm left with when I was left leaving the theater.
Okay.
Still a great film. Highly recommend it. One of the best comic book films that we've had in a really long time. I hope Warner Brothers continues to do movies like this because I like the approach of taking... Because this is sort of like what Marvel does. Marvel takes a subgenre and go, all right, we're going to make a comic book movie that's a heist film. We're going to make a comic book film that's like a Star Wars or Star Trek. We're going to make a comic book film that's like a James Bond movie. And now DC is now making films. This is the first one. We're going to make a comic book film that's like Taxi Driver. Hopefully that this persuades them to do more things like this, to take their characters and go, okay, we're going to take this, and then we're going to make a movie that's we're going to, not to rip off Marvel or anything, but we're going to do our own heist film. We're going to do our own style of what could be a subgenre within the comic book films. Because that's what comic book films are. They're comic book films, and then you could do a genre within the genre. Mm-hmm. And now hopefully Warner Brothers takes more chances like this, because this is having massive success. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to make like double its budget its opening weekend.
Cool.
So that's it for me.
That's it for me.
All right. That is it for us. I believe Gemini Man's next week.
Gemini Man, yeah.
Look for that either Saturday or Sunday. So have a good day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys.